Welcome my friends and loyal viewers. Welcome to Kalini Martini's Regiment Tournament. Throughout the month of August 2025, I've made my community vote for their favorite Guts and Black Powder regiment, leaving only one quote-unquote community voted best regiment. This regiment tournament consisted of multiple rounds, so let's see what regiments passed. Round 1, shall we? For our first nation, France, we have the default regiment, alongside the Grenadiers, and of course the Irish Legion. And the winner of the very first roundup are the Grenadiers, I think mostly due to its nice red accents. Next up we've got the Vistule regiment, followed by the legendary Old Guard, and finally the 2nd Genie regiment. And to the surprise of probably absolutely no one, the Old Guard takes the cake. On day number 3, we've had regiments that all look similar to one another, such as the Swiss Guard, les Canonniers Gardes Côtes, and the Voltigeurs. But there can only be one winner, and in this round, that will be the Voltigeurs. Here we've got the Marine Infantry Regiment, but no match against the notorious Imperial Marines, or the Polish Lancers. Even with this very tough competition, it's the Imperial Marines. And for the final round featuring France, we've got the Dragoons, the default cuirassiers added in the last update, and the awesome looking carabiners. And by some miracle, the default cuirassiers won the vote. Next nation is Britain, and first here we've got the default British regiment, alongside the 42nd Regiment of Foot and the Brunswick Battalion. A very tough lineup indeed. However, the winner of this round is the 42nd Regiment of Foot. As the first week concludes, we have another Brunswick regiment, followed up by the King's German Legion and the 95th Regiment of Rifles. The King's German Legion took the win. Starting the second week, we have the Chasseurs Britanniques, the 71st Regiment of Foot, recently added to the game, and the hopelessly outmatched Royal Marines. It's no surprise that the new 71st Regiment of Foot eventually won the vote. And finally, a round only featuring British cavalry. It's the Rocket Troops against the 1st Life Guards. Alright, Austria it is. First things first, some pretty standard looking regiments, with newly updated officers that are given coats now. After Austria's first vote, the Grenadiers won, I think because of their funny hats. Following that, I present to you the 60th Line Infantry Regiment, one of my personal favorites, the Jaegers, and the Landwehr Battalion with a very drippy looking officer. In a close vote, the Jaegers passed to round 2, and now the final 2 cavalry regiments, the Hussars and the Cuirassiers, who got eliminated sadly, securing the Hussars a spot in round 2. For Prussia's 1st regiment, we've got the default one, followed by the simple but clean Freikorps, and then the Landwehr regiment. And to my utter and complete surprise, the Freikorps made it through. Next up is the Garde zu Fuß, the new Schützen Battalion, and the Pommersches Landwehr Kavallerie, which ended up winning the vote, eliminating the previous 2 regiments. And finally, the last 2 Prussian cavalry regiments, one of which being the Cuirassiers, who got eliminated in a pretty decisive vote if you ask me. Russia started with 2 similar looking regiments and then the notorious St. Petersburg regiment. And as I expected, the St. Petersburg militia won the vote. Then there's 2 regiments whose name I will not try to pronounce to not upset any Russian viewers. After the vote, however, the Cuirassiers won. Then for Denmark, here's the default regiment, followed by this green boy over here, and then the amazing looking Danske Landefaan, who sadly didn't win the vote. But the Liv Jaegers did. To handle Sweden in a single round, we've got all 4 Swedish regiments that look fairly similar to one another, except for the Cuirassiers, and eventually the Cuirassiers did win the vote. And for Portugal, the smallest and probably easiest vote yet. There's only 2 regiments, and the Caçadores won. America's up next, and all 3 regiments were up in a single vote. The regiment that came out on top, however, is the boarding party. Then for Bavaria, the drippiest nation in all of Guts and Black Powder with some consistent bangers, in this vote the Landesbewaffnung won. Followed by a cavalry-only vote, which the beautiful Cuirassiers won. For our final nation, Duchy of Warsaw, I won't try to pronounce any names for your own good. As always, there's only one winner, and that would be the one you see on screen right now. Alright, that concludes round 1. Let's see which regiments that passed round 1 continue to pass round 2. First up, we've got 3 French regiments that all passed round 1, and the Old Guard once again managed to secure victory this round. Then for the remaining 2 French regiments, there's the Imperial Marines versus the Cuirassiers, and to no surprise, it's the Marines once again. Following that, the last few British regiments are squared up against one another in a vote featuring all 4 of them, and eventually, the 42nd Regiment of Foot won again. For the Austrian regiments, was there even a vote needed? The Grenadiers and Jaegers got owned by the Austrian Hussars. Now, Prussia was interesting, as all the regiments featured here have 3D clothing of some sort. However, the sole survivor of this day is the Prussian Hussar Regiment. And then for the winners of the Russo-Danish round, I was expecting the St. Petersburg Regiment to win, however, the Livjäger Corps made it through. For this very diverse roundup, we've got a Swedish regiment, a Portuguese one, and an American one, and the boarding party managed to pass to the semi-finals. And for the final vote of round 2, we've got 2 extremely good-looking Bavarian regiments against a single Polish regiment, and by some miracle, the Polish regiment got the most votes. That will be round 2. Now we're on to the semi-finals. Any regiment that passes this round makes it to the finals. Let's see which ones. Alright, the semi-finals. The Old Guard, Imperial Marines, and the 42nd Regiment of Foot are all up against one another in a very tough matchup, but the Imperial Marines won. Following that up, we've got the seemingly invincible Austrian Hussars, the Prussian Hussars, and the Danish Livjäger Corps, and in this very tough lineup, the Prussian Hussars won the vote. And for the final matchup for the semi-finals, I present the boarding party, who's up against this Polish regiment, and this nice Polish regiment managed to win. Now for the finals. All these final 3 regiments made it this far, and are up against one another. And the winner is... the French Imperial Marines! I want to thank you for watching, and the amazing 69th Regiment for casting their votes. Until next time, friends.